Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the RMG 2015 software release review. Thank you for taking the time to be with us this morning. We're really excited about the release, and we want to be sure to get you, a high-level overview of what's going on. If you need more information, we're here. We're here to help. I'm Rick Maddock. I'm the CTO and SVP of Technology here at RMG, and I've been in the digital signage industry for 15 plus years, and with RMG for 2 years. And my team and I, including Eric here, have spent a lot of time and effort to get the product out that I think you'll really like. We surveyed our customers. We're looking at the competition. We're always looking to improve our product. Eric, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Eric Oliver. I'm the product manager for RMG. I've been designing and developing digital signage systems for over 10 years now, and this is probably the largest update that I've been a part of. So super excited really to go over all the features and improvements that the hard work from our technology team and product management team brings to the table here. We're just going to kind of cover some of the high-level things today, but excited to talk about it.
Okay, the features I like to think in themes when I look at all of our products. I don't know if people know we have about 2 million lines of code. We're always improving many areas of our product, but in doing these reviews, we need to be able to organize in a way that you guys can understand. So we've got a lot of feedback. We needed to improve our usability. We got some feedback that it would be great if we had a better charts and graphs. A lot of feedback on we want to use your product more and more, but your system administration tools need some help. And we're looking to bring social media into our playback. And we really like this product in view, but we need some help there. So you see the 6 or 7 things there that are on the screen. This is a way that allows us to kind of concisely talk about what we have in the release. There's hundreds of other features and improvements underneath the covers, but we're going to go through these themes, and I think you'll be excited to see what we've done. Our first, the first thing I like to talk about is, customers ask us for things, and we're always looking for the benefits of those things. Why are the customers asking us for things? So we've had a lot of customers come to us and say, listen, we're power users, we love your system, we can do a ton with your system, but it's really kind of intimidating, and some people that we want to include in using the system, it's just too much training, for what we want them to do. It's just too complicated. So we came up with a way to take our product, our user interface in Design Studio, and make it easier to kind of set up so that any user of any skill level can see what they need to see to get their job done. We know that this will increase the frequency in use of the content of the product by allowing them to do new content, and it will reduce the time needed to get that content updated on the system. Eric's going to go into a little detail here.
That's right, Rick. So, the theme of usability is going to be a constant theme throughout this release and many others. It will be applied to not only our main power user content creation application Design Studio, but all the way down through our basic user interface of Content Courier. So where we'll start here, we'll talk about four main points, and there's a lot more that we've done, but the 4 main points today with usability are basic and all properties, docking pane, smart layouts, and the Content Courier redesign. So the first one here is, with what we've heard from customers, is that Design Studio is a great tool for creating content, and the power users love it, but sometimes there's just so many properties that are available via the message or the layout or the area that sometimes it can create a little bit of noise for those basic users who just need to get in and maybe change a sentence or switch out a graphic. So what we've done here is we've given the ability to filter properties. You can still have the ability to see all the properties, but what a basic user might choose to do is click the Basic Properties button, which will hide the properties that are kind of more obscure. And the next thing that we've done is we've given the end user much more ability to control the application and design the application itself for their use cases. As you can see in this slide, we can actually now drag out the window pane outside of the application. So this is great for dual desktop or to free up the work area on your application. Not only can you drag it outside of the application, but if I drag and drop the title of the window, I can bring it over here to one of the control docking pane windows, and in this case I'm dragging it over here to the left control pane control, and as you can see it docks to the left, and this is totally configurable. This theme goes throughout the toolbars, all of the windows, so our application is much more configurable to the end user now, and it saves. So when you log out, and next time you log back in, it's what you expect it to be. So the other one here, we've listened to our customers, and what we've heard is that they're trying to get data from disparate sources, and sometimes the data can be large data sets, lots of pictures, lots of graphics. Sometimes it can be very little. And so instead of having to go in and set the timeouts every time depending on the data, what we've added is a new smart layout feature that will allow you to select a key area, and it will base that timeout on the data that comes in for that key area.
Another place where customers were asking us for more improvement was, they want the numbers, they want to display the numbers, and maybe in a tabular form on the screens, and that's real detailed information. But they also want to see if they can make better graphics. And we had some graphics or charts and graph packages in our last or in our product for a while, but we really enhanced. We found one of the leading chart packages out there, and we embedded it in the product, and it comes with your software. So now you'll be able to set the colors and basically make your data more interesting in any way that you can by hooking that data into the way that you do charts and graphs. You can do a greater number of different types of charts and graphs, bar charts, pie charts, scatter charts, and those scatter graphs and those kind of things. But again, just the ability to make the real-time data more interesting.
Yeah, that's right, Rick. So what we've done is just given a great new toolkit that will allow the end user to create really engaging charts and graphs that fall in line with the branding guidelines or the styles that must be adhered to by the corporation.
Okay, moving to the server side of the product, and we've put a lot of work into the server in this release. One of the things, as customers are using our product more and more and putting more SDAs and more MVUs onto the product, we've been asked to give the system administrator some tools to make this easier to manage. So we've put a lot of effort into a web-based portal that will allow you to do the player configurations and server configurations. It's just a lot of work for the guys that behind the scenes who make all this stuff work. So Eric's going to go into some detail on our comprehensive monitoring that we've added to the product.
Yeah, this is one of my most favorite new features. With an IT background, I understand how difficult it can be to monitor all of your endpoints when they could be in the next building, next state, or even in a separate country. So what we've done is we've offered a web portal, a centralized location on the server that will aggregate all of your players, and it allows you to not only configure and monitor, but also collect the data from that information and trigger alerts. So what you see here first, when you log in, number one, all the users are the same users that you would be used to defining in Data Studio, and adheres to those same policies. And you come to the player tab. So this player tab shows you all of the individual players. It gives you the player name, model type, IP address, and the version number, the last time that it accessed the server, and then finally you have a heartbeat. The heartbeat is can be green, yellow, or red. Green means that it checked in the last time. If you want to configure that, what we've heard is some customers want to know if it's been down for 1 minute. Some aren't that concerned if there's potential network issues that make it go down every hour or so. You can totally configure all of those settings here in the admin page. And so you can see that you can also continue to get the data from the sensors and the event logs and when to purge that data. So back to the Players tab, if I want to dive into an individual player, I would simply come and click on the player name, which now will dive me into the player tab, which is all the unique features that you could typically achieve through the SDA's individual web page, but now you have a central location to do that. So you have the ability to look at the display information, change the resolution, even get back information about the monitor model type. You can change network settings, set up wireless SSIDs and passwords. You can set up the server that that particular player is going to connect to. Under the advanced page, we've added some new features. Before, where we had to send updates to the player, or upgrades rather, you used to have to use FTP, but now we use our existing new communication layer, and you can send the updates just right through Device Manager, making things much more simple. And then finally, we've got an SDA info page, and this is new. We now have the ability to get back sensor data. And so this data comes back into the database, and just like all other data, we can now send alerts. If a temperature looks like it's going to spike, or the fan speed is going too high, we can send out an alert on that. Now going back, we talked about the individual player configurations, but now what if I want to make configurations all at once to a group of players? We've given the ability to add custom groups, and these custom groups can be logical to the IT administrator, whether it's the next building, or I can say the East Coast. You can group players how you choose, and once you've grouped those players, now I can change standby modes. I can change the server that those will attach to, and I can even update them en masse.
Okay, so we know for some of you guys out there, that was those first two things, the improvement of the user interface and the effort into the management of multiple devices, spread around, were very important, and we're really excited to have that completed and available for you now. On the security piece, more and more, we will always be paying attention to security and making sure our product is as secure as possible. We did realize and have known that, behind the firewall, we have our data collectors. Some of you have some of our data collectors, and there's, we needed to encrypt the information that we get from the data collectors over the wire on the way to the server. So, what that does, and we'll always be looking to do this, is lower the risk of the security breaches and data theft, and it just makes sure that we keep, consistent across the product. Now we are very secure. We have security between any of our user interfaces in the server and our backend, or our data collection and the server, and of course between the server and the playback. So that is something that we're really happy about and to complete.
So yeah, absolutely, security is a moving target, and we're constantly improving our security. Some new features that we've added are the ability now to send SMTPS emails, so secure emails from the server. We've also added the ability to have the players pull down the certificates when using an encrypted communication to make it much simpler to manage them and keep them up to date.
The next big topic was, and this is something that we've been thinking about and been wanting to do for quite a while, which was to enhance the way that we get data into our server and the way that we send data out to our end nodes, whether it's SDAs or video walls or smart screens or end views. So we really looked closely at the way it works and came up with well, we redesigned and refactored the communication layer to allow us to support up to 10,000 endpoints on the server. You know, for people who know, you know, we've been working on this problem for a while, and this really puts us in a position to support all the different end views, all the different types of connections to our network. So this will lower your hardware maintenance costs by allowing us to support more diverse populations of endpoints on every server, and of course it expands the use of servers for other potential applications that you can use this for.
Yeah, so this improvement in the scalability, you know, in our communication layer really can't be overstated here. It's such an improvement, vast improvement with really doing a great job of utilizing bandwidth on the network. Also making best use of resources on the CPU, and by doing that, not only can you add more endpoints, but you get a more responsive experience between the endpoints and clients and the server. So a lot of great things. We've done that by totally redesigning a message-oriented middleware and WebSockets to attain this. Not only have we improved this communication layer, but other improvements in scalability include now the ability to connect to a remote SQL server. And so we listen to our customers. They already have SQL farms, so we can connect our software and server to that existing SQL server.
Another thing that the customers have been asking us for is, you know, with our data integration layer or integration layer, more and more of our customers are using other tools like Twitter, like SharePoint, like Jive, as places where they publish information, you know, and it goes through a whole approval process. And, you know, it would be great if we could pull some of that information onto some of our screens, right, just to keep the screens, you know, dynamic and keep them, you know, we don't necessarily always want to be the publishing point. You know, we want to have a product that allows a number of different publishing points. So we concentrated on some of those features now, and this will be a growing thing. So you know, and it literally just makes the screens more interesting. Gives you the ability to get real-time feedback. You know, reinforces the company's social messages, and it leverages your existing investments in other platforms.
That's right. Our customers have told us they want to utilize their other platforms that they've already have in place and just simply aggregate all of that data. And so here we've got an example of bringing in just some textual Twitter data. And so this again, it can be controlled by the corporate Twitter account. And then here we've got some Twitter feeds here, bringing in some graphics, and we have the ability to also bring in social media from Jive as well.
I don't know. Finally, I think we have a couple more. Actually, we got to talk about InView. But we've had customers who wanted to use our platform to show some, you know, live broadcast, a stream, you know, an HD stream into the SDA and then out onto the screen, and whether or not they wrap that with another look and feel with their corporate branding, you know, or use a full screen, we don't care. So you'll be seeing that we're coming out with models of our SDAs that include the video capture cards, and we also have built the software that will allow us to, tune to different channels and play it back through the SDA. This is probably one of these things that we're a little late with, but it's there now. It works great. It'll just allow you to use our product in a number of different ways. I think a lot of times, when I think of this, I think of corporate cafeterias or other areas, employee areas where you have a news channel feed or a sports feed or whatever, while you have other information surrounding it. So.
Yeah, Rick, so from a technical standpoint, what we've done is we've added the ability to hook up a coax cable and get a live TV feed via ATSC, QAM, or even DVB-T. So this is great from that standpoint, from the coax side, but we've also done improvements to the IP streaming. So with the IP streaming, now we also have full support for multicast and unicast with a multitude of encoders. We've definitely seen that there's supposed to be a standard out there, but not everybody really adheres to it. But we've added a whole bunch of new support for UDP, RTSP, RTP, HD streaming. So however you want to get that live TV, whether it's a CEO town hall meeting or news like Rick said, we can get you that live TV.
And finally, we really did get a lot of input, get a lot of feedback that, we have this wonderful platform where we're showing things up on the screen. You have this product in view, but it has some characteristics that we want you guys to look at and see if you can make it a little bit easier for us to use. So, and some changes in behavior. So. Our in-view upgrades includes very technical things like the way we reconnect back into the server as you move around with your laptop, as well as more control of the actual show on your screen. So overall, what we're trying to do is we're trying to be true to our vision of being the platform of choice for your one-to-many, your digital science, your one-to-few with your interactive capabilities, and your one-to-one with the in-view. So, you guys all know that you can set your in-views, your SDAs up in groups, and you can send different shows to different groups. And now, you'll be able to address individuals at the desktop level with in-view.
Right, Rick. So, in-view is definitely a very powerful desktop application. We've added some new features to this application that allows the end user more control over their experience. Of course, all this is controlled by the network operator and the corporate governance. But things that we've added to in-view include the ability now to close sections of the in-view here, or minimize in-view altogether, minimize and restore. We've also added a new feature to embed multimedia and allow that multimedia to be controlled. So you can now fast forward, rewind, stop, and pause the multimedia video. But we not only can apply that control to the multimedia, we can also add that control to the playlist messaging itself. So again, the end user now has much more control. It's not just sitting there playing through a playlist over and over. If the end user needs more time to digest that information or needs to go back to a particular piece of information, it's obtainable now.
Yeah, and I know that the customer that asked for this was thinking, I have this ability to message to my end users, but what if I wanted to put something that's a little bit more text intensive, right? If I had it in a show, there's no way that the person would be able to read, some HR announcement or some changes in the benefits plan or things like that. So you really do have a way with our network to deliver specific messages of all sorts of types. And now with the control of the show, all your users can do what you have another population of users who might want to use this as a content platform to get information out to their departments, to their across the company. So that pretty much concludes our survey. We did get 4 or 5 customers. Actually, we got like 10 or 15 questions along the way here. What we will do is we will send all the participants the answers to all the questions. Some of these are a little bit harder to answer than others, but we will answer them, and some we're just going to pick off a few. So the first question I think we should answer is, do we have trial software that you can install and test in your labs, and as a proof of concept? Eric?
Absolutely. We absolutely have an evaluation program. Just get with your sales representative or SE, and we can absolutely set that up.
Another question we received was, are the current SDAs compatible with the new version?
They are. It will require a simple upgrade to 12.5 on the SDAs, but and views. But once you've got that, no problem.
Okay. Along those same lines, does the new system support our existing layouts? Can they be migrated, etc.?
Absolutely. We have the ability to export what we call a DSC export, so it's easy to export that file and import it into the new system.
Are the current wait, I already asked that one. Sorry about that. Are the current SDA? I did that one. Sorry. Does the new model work in virtual environments?
It does. We definitely tested in Citrix and VMware, and our server can operate in a VM environment.
Okay. What platform and OS are required for the system?
So for Windows 7 and above should suffice for the clients. We're working on Windows 10 since that just came out, and then on the server side, we're Server 2008 R2 and above, and we'll be working on 2014.
Okay, so that's the last question. So thank you. We're coming up on the half-hour point here. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to listen in with us. We're really excited about the release. Please contact your account reps and make your plans to get upgraded. If you need deeper details, we have them here, and we're happy to share them. My marketing department asked that we ask you to follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter, and there will be more webinars to follow. And thanks, everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you all.